All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are looking in the mirror, the leadership mirror that is, to really figure out what separates a legacy of incredible growth from, well, a legacy of total collapse. And it all really boils down to this one fundamental question from the leadership mirror that defines every single leader's journey. It's a choice, and it's a choice that determines not just the fate of a company, but the well-being and honestly the potential of every single person inside it. So the sources we're looking at, they present two totally different paths. On one side, you've got what you could call the humiliation master. Think of figures like Steve Jobs, who, for all his genius, often used fear as a management tool. And then on the complete other side, you've got the leader as servant. And the poster child for this is Kelleher of Southwest Airlines, who proved that real leadership is about rolling up your sleeves and working right there with your team. Okay, so let's start with the first big difference, the one you can see right away. Where does a leader actually stand? Are they up on a pedestal, kind of looking down? Or are they down in the trenches, working right alongside their people? Leaders like Larry Ellison, well, they definitely ruled from above. Meetings weren't for collaboration, they were a stage for public humiliation, a way to show who's boss. And you can just imagine what that does to a room, right? It creates this toxic atmosphere of fear. And what's the very first casualty of fear? Innovation. People just stop taking risks, they stop asking the stupid questions, and they absolutely stop sharing those half-baked ideas that so often lead to breakthroughs. Now, flip that completely on its head, and you get Kelleher. He worked within the business. He famously spent one day every single month on the front lines. Yep, loading baggage in the sweltering heat or serving peanuts on a flight. And look, this was not some PR stunt. It was his strategy. By being there, he could actually listen to what was really broken, use those insights to fix real-world problems, and in the process, build this absolutely unshakable trust and loyalty. It's easy to look good when things are going great. But a leader's true character, that's not tested when things are going well. It's revealed when everything goes wrong. Failure is gonna happen, and how you respond to it, that's what truly defines a culture. So the sources show this really destructive pattern in failing companies, a total refusal to admit that the strategy from the top might be wrong. Take Toys R Us. As Amazon was just eating their lunch, did the executives question their e-commerce strategy? Nope. They blamed the store managers for not being customer-focused enough. And this isn't a one-off thing. The exact same pattern played out at Radio Shack. As their products became, totally obsolete, leadership just insisted the strategy was sound. The problem wasn't the stuff they were selling, they claimed. It was the employees, who just needed more aggressive selling techniques. And of course, who could forget Blockbuster? They blamed frontline workers for the company's collapse, all while ignoring the giant red Netflix threat staring them right in the face. See, this isn't just bad management, it's a defense mechanism. Scapegoating lets leaders avoid taking any responsibility for their own huge blind spots, right up until the moment the lights go out for good. Okay, so that's the blame game. Now let's look at the complete opposite. Remember Southwest holiday meltdown in 2022? It was a total disaster, but the response was night and day. CEO Bob Jordan, he immediately took public ownership. No finger-pointing. Instead, he got the entire company focused on one single question. How do we fix this for the customer? That right there is servant leadership in a crisis. It's not about finding someone to blame. It's about leading the way to a solution. So what fuels this whole blame game culture? Well, it all comes down to one thing, the flow of information. How a leader treats information, it tells you everything you need to know. Is it a weapon they use for control, or is it a tool for everyone to succeed together? And man, the contrast here could not be clearer. In these cultures of secrecy, like we saw at Theranos or Enron, bad news gets buried. The person who brings it up, they get punished. Information is hoarded by executives to keep their power. And the outcome is always the same, collapse. But in cultures of service, like at companies that practice open book management, problems are treated like opportunities, and information is shared to empower everybody. The outcome there? Sustainable success. This Enron example, it's just the most toxic form of weaponizing information you can imagine. The executives deliberately kept the real financial data from their own managers. Then, when those managers, working with bad info, made poor decisions, they got the blame. It's a perfect system for scapegoating, designed to protect the people at the top by punishing the people they kept in the dark. So, after all this, where do these two paths ultimately lead? Forget the fluffy mission statements and the corporate values posters on the wall.
Let's look at the final tally, where the cold, hard numbers tell the real story.
This is what toxic, self-serving leadership gets you. At Sears, CEO Eddie Lampert made his departments fight each other in this brutal internal competition. Instead of working together to help customers, they were clawing at each other for resources. And when the strategy was clearly, obviously failing, Lampert just blamed his employees. The result was a 99% destruction of value and the death of an American icon.
But now, look at the other side of that mirror, the effect of servant leadership. Costco's whole philosophy is simple. Invest in your people first. They pay wages that lead the industry. They give great benefits. And the result? While their competitors are dealing with employee turnover as high as 75%, Costco's is less than 10%. I mean, that's not just a statistic. That is unbreakable loyalty.
And that loyalty, that's not just some feel-good metric. It hits the bottom line big time. A happy, experienced, motivated workforce is a crazy productive one. Costco's sales per employee are consistently 40 to 50% higher than their competitors. This just proves it. Investing in people isn't an expense you try to minimize. It is the most powerful engine for growth a company can possibly have.
So in the end, leadership isn't just about the financial results. It's really about the human impact you leave behind. It is the difference between a culture of fear and a culture of trust, between extracting value from your people and creating value with them. The choice a leader makes is a mirror, and it reflects who they truly serve. So the only question left is, what will your reflection show?